Okay, let's see if this wants to work now. It's a solid maybe. Yes, it did want to work that time. I don't know why it didn't work the last time, but hello there. Hi. Thanks for spending your time with me. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. This is my second time in the TF-51 trainer vehicle. And my gaming PC just restarted. Cool. Neato Petito. Love it when everything's going smoothly for me and I have no second screen to go to. Okay, well, that's gone well. Ish. I guess. As I crash my everything. Not just the plane. Sometimes I crash my computer. Okay. There we go. Give me one moment while I quickly get settings back to what they should be. You just crashed again. Totally did. Neat. Don't know how I break these things so easily, chat. It's a skill of mine and not one that I want. I don't know why that just crashed. Couldn't tell you. So that's fun. Whatever. We'll get it worked out. I feel like it might be PSU at this point, which would suck because I have to completely rebuild my computer. Again. Oh, it's 750 water, so it should be enough. Because my boards, so my graphics card's only drawing 315 watts. I got two NVMe SSDs in there. Nothing. Alright. Try this again, chat. Oh. That's saved. Odd. No, it hasn't saved. That's not the correct frequency of the memory. And that's all defaults. Interesting. There we go. That'll do. Yep. Close that. Fire up this one. Let's see if we can make it work, folks. There we go.
Hey,
Hello, mate.
how goes the pilot wings?
I am restarting my computer a lot, apparently.
Oh, that would do it.
It's just, I'm chasing an issue. Not sure exactly
Oh.
what's causing the system to restart, but something is.
Is it the overclock?
I don't think it's actually the overclock itself that's causing the crash. Yeah, there's nothing showing me that it's like causing the restart.
Not even in the event logs?
I mean, I'd go through the event logs, but yeesh.
That would really help me somewhat narrow it down, especially if you have a time frame when it happened.
The Star Citizen was running fine, but now DCS is causing a crash. Don't know why. Couldn't tell you.
You're just having all the fun.
I'm having all the fun today. Everything's been going great. There's like nothing's spiking to cause it to crash. Like nothing. No, I'm not seeing my CPU or GPU power usage requirements go up. It's just decides that it's done with my shenanigans. Okay, when it's gotten. Okay. Sure. I've gotten back into the menus at least. That's good. That one. Start. Actually, it could be HDR. I haven't checked my HDR settings on DCS. I know that DCS is very finicky about settings.
DCS just to me is Windows just loses patience with it and says you didn't respond quick enough.
Oh yeah, that's whenever you're playing multiplayer and it's downloading maps and updating stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna head out. Oh, now it worked fine. Sure.
Welcome to the cockpit overview lesson. Today, we will take a
That's what it
detailed
wants
look
you
at
to
Mustang
think.
cockpit. You can use mouse flip mode to move
It's
your
gonna
view
pounce
around
when
the
you least
cockpit.
suspect it.
To turn mouse flip mode on and off, press left alt plus C. Throughout this lesson, pressing the spacebar key will initiate the next consecutive step once instructions for the current one are complete. Press the spacebar key when you are ready to begin. The cockpit
Adjust controls, because I'm gonna be doing this a whole lot. Do.
Raisin bread.
Oh heck yeah, that's the good stuff. With more butter than is healthy.
Yeah, this is the only time I actually use butter.
Butter, I already know her.
I really tried to avoid it. But it's a thing left over from when I was a kid. My mom used to make. It was like a comfort food. I actually, when I was growing up, my cousin, I went and stayed with him for a bit.
Yeah.
And my cousin would eat a stick of butter.
Oh.
My aunt just would give him like a stick and he'd eat it. And I'd look at him like, are you guys freaking crazy?
Apparently, yes.
It's just different ways for people to grow up.
I guess.
He'd like squirt ketchup in his mouth and eat it that way, and then I was like, just like, okay, I'm done. I love bread, like bread in general, and apparently the science keeps getting better in pointing out that bread's possibly not that good for you.
I refer you to Scott Pilgrim. Bread makes you fat?
Yeah. But kept bread, actually I love all non American bread. What I consider is just not found in my local grocery store bread.
Configured in a standard layout, with the instrument panel
bread,
positioned on the front
not
dash,
yeah,
center-mounted
sugar
control
paper.
stick, a throttle quadrant on the left side, and various aircraft system controls.
Piquette's like my favorite.
Panels. With the exception of the flaps control handle, which is located
My wife
in the
can't
bottom
even eat
left
it.
corner
She's
of the
like, I don't
cockpit.
know how you eat
Most of
this
the
without your
indicators
teeth
and
shattering.
controls are well
That's the fun
organized
part.
and easy to read and read.
I mean, I'm all for like good sourdoughs and like rye breads and like dark rye breads.
Ride. Yeah. Dinner bread?
Moving on
Basically
to
for
the
me.
instrument panel, the upper
good
left
rye.
corner houses the
Yeah.
remote indicating compass.
Do all of the keybinds. You'll that.
I played some Arma.
Oh dear. Have you played on Niabet's server?
No, I was playing the Reforger.
Okay.
I should play 3.
Compass unit
and I should play
installed
Reforger.
Now that I
inside
have-
the left wing and
now that I
transmits
have a
magnetic readings electrically
computer
to the
that can
cockpit
actually run it.
indicator.
Yeah, but
Using a
if you're
remote
first
compass
into the
avoids
AI, you
magnetic
get
effects
clapped.
caused by armor plating around
Yeah,
the
well, that
cockpit,
was it, yeah.
experienced by a standard magnetic compass.
Actually, that was such a.
The
I ran
remote
my own
indicating
Arma 3
compass
server
includes
for a
a
while.
heading needle,
Yeah.
which shows the current heading, and a desired
Well,
heading
rented a
needle,
server, then
which can be turned using
modded
the
it and
indicator
everything.
knob
But
to set
anyways,
a desired
I was trying to
course
learn how
reference
the
on
AI
indicator.
worked.
To
Getting
turn
clapped.
the knob, you can simply roll the
So
mouse
I
wheel
spent
over.
extensive amount of time in like the AI folder and the AI, and it just kind of made me like go, I don't like AI.
To the right of
Like
the remote
the
indicating
version that
compass
we
is a
consider
standard
it
clock.
for
The
games.
winding knob
Yeah.
Because it's really
used to
just
set the time.
roll dice.
Doing so
Does it get
requires pulling the
headshot?
knob
Yes
out
or
with the
no?
left mouse button, then rolling the mouse wheel
No,
over the
only
knob to
torso.
rotate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just like, if has weapon and can't see you, and by see you,
The
computer see
suction
you.
gauge indicates the amount of
You
pressure
die.
in inches of mercury
Okay.
being
Okay.
generated by the
Mercury.
engine vacuum
Oh,
pump.
so that's my vacuum
Vacuum
gauge.
pressure is used by a number of vital instruments, including the flight indicator, bank and turn indicator, and the directional gyro. A suction reading above or below normal means the readings of these indicators are unreliable. Next is the manifold pressure indicator. This is one of the primary.
We have to watch out for
instruments
danger to
used in flight, and
manifold,
together
chat.
with the tachometer or engine RPM indicator is your main reference of engine power. The manifold pressure indicator shows gas pressure inside the engine induction system prior to entering the cylinders. Like the suction gauge,
Manifold.
the indication is in inches of mercury. Manifold pressure is set using the throttle handle, while engine RPM is set using the propeller control lever, also on the throttle quadrant.
Right.
On the left,
So I think there's like 2 throttles in this. There's RPM and then there's actual
Yeah,
like.
there's propeller control, and then there's your like. So you set your manifold with the throttle. You control your RPM with the propeller pitch.
Truck's Guide has a pretty good binding for it.
Sorry?
Truck's Guide?
Alright.
Yeah.
It's just called engine RPM setting, which is, yeah, that's one of the ways you could describe it, I guess. Tune that slider.
Side of the middle row of the instrument panel is the airspeed indicator, which shows an indicated airspeed in miles per hour, mph. The red line on the indicator marks the maximum permissible airspeed of 505 miles per hour. It's important to remember that maximum permissible indicated airspeed is reduced as altitude increases. For example, it is 400 mph at 20,000 feet and 300 mph at 30,000 feet. In the left center of the instrument panel is the directional gyro, which shows current heading. The instrument can be caged and the heading adjusted manually by pushing in and rotating the indicator knob. In the center right of the instrument panel is the flight indicator, which shows the aircraft's roll and pitch attitude relative to the horizon. The indicator is limited to 60 degrees in pitch and 100 degrees in roll. The instrument can be caged or uncaged using the caging knob in the lower right corner of the indicator. The horizon level can be adjusted vertically using the pitch adjust knob. To the right of the flight indicator are 2 temperature gauges, the coolant temperature gauge above and the carburetor air temperature below. It's important to monitor these instruments in flight, as temperatures rising above normal may lead to serious engine problems, such as detonation and pre-ignition.
There you go.
On the right side of the middle row of the instrument panel is the tachometer. This instrument indicates engine speed in revolutions per minute, RPM.
Man,
The
serious
pilot
engine
controls
problem
engine
like
speed
detonation
using the
sounds
propeller
fun.
control lever on the throttle quadrant. A propeller
I mean, it depends on
governor
which
system
version of
automatically
of detonation,
adjusts
right?
propeller pitch angles to maintain the RPM set by the pilot. Typical RPM settings in flight will be between 1,800 and 3,000
If your engine
RPM.
is detonating, that's an issue. If your engine detonates, that's a big issue.
Moving to the bottom row of the instrument panel, the left corner houses the altimeter.
Because English
The
is
altimeter
stupid.
shows barometric or pressure altitude using a 3-needle system. The shortest needle shows altitude in tens of thousands of feet, the middle needle in thousands of feet, and the longest needle in hundreds of feet.
Oh,
The indicator knob is used to adjust the sea level reference pressure in inches of mercury to ensure an accurate altitude reading over a desired location where the sea level air pressure is known.
right.
Next is the bank and turn indicator, primarily used to maintain coordinated flight
That
and
guy did
minimize
not
side
take a
slip.
breath on that
The
last
vertical
part.
needle of the
Nope.
instrument indicates turn rate, and the slip ball indicates side slip or side skid. In
And
flight,
this was
the
done
pilot
before
maintains the
all
ball
of these
center
were
by
read
using
by,
stick and rudder controls, or aileron and
machine
rudder
learning
trim. Flight trim is very sensitive
vocoders.
to changes in engine power and airspeed, so constant attention must be paid to the bank and turn indicator in order to fly as efficiently as possible. To the right is the rate of climb indicator, which shows the climb rate in thousands of feet per minute.
Okay.
Further to the right is the accelerometer, or G meter. This indicator shows the G load factor experienced by the aircraft, as well as 2 additional needles that show the maximum and minimum G loads attained since the instrument was last reset. The instrument includes a reset button used to reset the needles to 0.
Accelerometer G meter. Ah, that's cool.
Finally, on the very right is the engine gauge. This instrument includes 3 indicators. the oil temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge, and the fuel pressure gauge.
Okay.
Moving below the instrument panel, the engine control panel includes a number of important engine controls. These include supercharger blower switch, sets the supercharger to low, high, or automatic blower modes. Normally this should be set to auto.
Yep.
The jewel light indicator lights up when the supercharger kicks into high blower mode. Fuel booster switch, turns the fuel booster pumps on and off. Oil dilute switch, used to dilute the oil with gasoline, which may be necessary when starting in cold temperatures. Starter switch, used to turn the engine prior to ignition during startup. Primer switch, used to feed fuel to the engine through the fuel primer system during startup. To the right are the two landing gear warning lights. These indicate safe or unsafe states of the landing gear. For example, the unsafe red light will be on if the gear doors are open but the landing gear is unlocked. Adjacent to the landing gear warning light is the parking brake handle. Setting the parking brake requires the following steps. Pull out and hold the parking brake handle. Fully depress and release the brakes. Release the parking brake handle. Releasing the parking brake only requires a press of the brake pedals.
Invert my toe brakes. Nope, not that one. Not that one. That one. Access tune. Invert. Okay. There we go.
On the right side below the instrument panel are the oxygen indicators, the oxygen flow indicator, and the oxygen pressure gauge. The oxygen flow indicator features a blinker that opens and closes as the pilot inhales and exhales on-demand oxygen. The oxygen pressure gauge shows the amount of oxygen remaining in the O2 tanks in pounds per square inch, PSI. A normal reading is 400 PSI.
You have a normal reading on the...
Just below the instrument panel is the front switch panel, which includes a variety of important controls. Ignition selector switch selects the left, right, or both magnetos to operate the engine ignition system. Cockpit light switch turns on and adjusts the cockpit floodlights. Horn silence button silences the AN/APS-13 rear warning radar alarm.
I think it's a rear warning radar alarm. That's
Below
cool.
the front switch panel is the fuel control panel. This includes the fuel shutoff valve, used to open and
They
close
never
the fuel flow,
bothered
and the fuel selector
to
valve,
model it
used
more
to
for
select
everybody
the fuel
does.
tank used to feed
That's
the
cool.
engine. Correct fuel tank selection is important in flight to maintain a balanced aircraft. To the right of the fuel control panel are the hydraulic pressure gauge and the landing gear fairing doors emergency release handle. The landing gear fairing doors emergency release handle can be used to release the hydraulic pressure and mechanical locks holding the gear doors closed. This will open the fairing doors and allow the landing gear to fall down under its own weight. Slight rolling of the aircraft from side to side can be used to ensure the gear locks in place prior to landing. Normal pressure for the hydraulic system is 800 to 1100 psi.
Okay.
The surface control lock is used to lock the control stick in place when the aircraft is parked. Left-clicking over the pin locks the stick in a forward position, which leaves the tail wheel unlocked and allows the aircraft to be towed and turned easily. Right-clicking on the pin locks the stick in the neutral position, which leaves the tail wheel limited to 6 degrees of turn.
Okay.
Moving to the left side of the cockpit, the throttle quadrant dominates the forward section. The throttle quadrant includes the throttle handle, the propeller control lever, and the mixture control lever. In addition,
I need to invert that. Throttle. Access tune. Invert. Okay.
2 friction locks are mounted on the assembly and can be used to stop the movement of the throttle handle or the mixture and propeller control levers.
I can do the props one as well.
The throttle handle features a microphone switch button used to activate transmission over the VHF radio. Moving back from the throttle quadrant, the radiator air control panel includes switches to operate the coolant and oil radiator flap doors. These are usually kept in automatic, but can be opened and closed manually when necessary. This panel also includes the landing light switch and the left-hand fluorescent light rheostat switch, which controls instrument backlighting on the left side of the cockpit.
Okay.
3 trim wheels are used to set the aileron, rudder, and elevator trim. Take off with 5 to 6 degrees of right rudder trim to help compensate for engine torque. Trim settings in flight may vary depending on flight conditions.
Okay. This one. That'll do.
The 2 handles toward the left rear of the cockpit control airflow to the engine induction system. The ram air control handle controls whether air is ingested through the main intake under the nose or filtered intakes on either side of the nose. Filtered air is used when icing of the intake develops. The hot air control handle opens a vent door in the engine compartment to allow warm air to enter the carburetor. This can be done below 12,000 feet when icing of the carburetor is a danger.
Oh, interesting. But I'm assuming you'll see that on the carb temperature. Alright. Cool. I'm sorry, someone somewhere is very angry in the fact that the carburetor temperature is listed in Celsius.
Probably the most awkward control in the cockpit is the flaps control handle in the bottom left corner. The flaps can be set from 0 to 47 marked 50 degrees in 10-degree increments.
Interesting. Okay. That one, sorry. That one. That one. Okay. Fine. I feel like probably the most awkward control
The
is
landing
the
gear control handle is also on the left side.
flaps.
The handle is pulled in and moved up or down to raise and lower the landing gear as desired. The gear should only be moved when
You don't
it's
need
locked
those.
in either the up or down position.
No, the one because they're about to teach me where
Now
the
moving
fuel
on to
levels
the right
are.
side of the cockpit, we have 2 canopy controls. The canopy is rolled open and closed by turning the canopy hand crank. The red handle is the emergency canopy release. When pulled, this will unlock the canopy and it will fly off into the slipstream. The oxygen regulator is used to control oxygen flow to the pilot's mask. The oxygen diluter lever, marked with yellow stripes, is used to set normal diluted oxygen or 100% oxygen. The red emergency valve is a separate backup oxygen line and can be used to bypass the regulator.
Okay.
The recognition light's keying switch is used to flash the recognition lights installed on the underside of the right wingtip when they are set to key mode on the electrical panel. The lights turn on for as long as the keying switch is held down and off when it is released.
Interesting.
The electrical control panel includes switches for battery and generator power, pitot tube, and external lighting. In addition, the right-hand fluorescent light rheostat switch controls the backlighting for instruments on the right side of the cockpit. The electrical control panel also includes an important indicator, the ammeter. This shows current output of the generator in amperes. Maximum permissible output is 100 amperes. The ammeter does not show battery current. Finally, the electrical control panel also includes a circuit breaker bump plate. This can be pressed in to reset all the circuit breakers in case one or more of them gets overloaded and pops out.
Where's the bump pipe? Oh, there. That's cool. That could save, literally could save
Further
lives.
back from the electrical control
That's
panel
cool.
is
I
the
like that.
AN/APS-13 rear warning radar, or RWR. This device sounds an alarm when an object is detected behind the aircraft to warn the pilot of a possible threat approaching from the rear. Next is the SCR-522 VHF radio, used for communication with flight members and air traffic control.
There's those two little
The radio
spikes on the
features
back.
5 channels, the frequencies for which are preset and cannot be changed in flight.
Yeah,
You
okay.
should consult your mission briefing prior to starting a flight to ensure your radio is set up
That's
to
pretty cool.
contact ATC towers in your vicinity. The remaining radio systems, including the homing adapter, IFF transponder, and Detroller range receiver, are not functional in this aircraft. Let's now take a look at the fuel gauges. You may need to twist your head around the cockpit a little to see them. You can press left Alt plus C to enable mouse view mode, and then hold down the mouse wheel while moving the mouse to move your head around the cockpit. The gauges for the left and right main tanks are located on the floor to either side of the seat.
Yep.
Finally, the area under the seat also houses cockpit environmental controls, including windshield defrosting and cockpit heating and cooling.
And the
Windows Frost is
Combat
easy to
variant.
access.
in the combat variant, your IFF does work.
Okay.
This concludes the
And
cockpit
you can actually,
overview
like,
lesson. Next time, we'll learn
Turn
how
it
to
into
start her up.
homing where I can go find you.
That's cool.
like-
That's real cool. Next lesson, we'll start it up. Okay, so next lesson. I seem to remember the engine start for this one's fairly straightforward, but a little bit finicky. Because it's like spin it up and then use your third hand to do this.
Welcome to the startup lesson. Press the spacebar key to begin. The engine start sequence is not very complicated. We will move around the cockpit clockwise, starting on the left side to configure the aircraft for engine start. Let's begin with the flaps control handle, positioned to the rear bottom left side of the cockpit. For a normal takeoff, flaps are not usually lowered. However, 15 to 20 degrees of flaps can be used when a minimum run takeoff is required. Set the flaps control handle all the way up to the up position. To do this, you can either click and drag the handle with the mouse, or press left shift plus F command repeatedly until it is all the way up. Note, the flaps won't actually come up until the engine is running and there is sufficient pressure in the hydraulic system to raise them.
Okay.
Now set the carburetor induction system for normal operation by moving the cold air control handle all the way forward to the ram air position and the hot air control handle all the way forward to the normal position.
Yep.
Next, set the coolant and oil radiator air control switches to the auto position for automatic operation of the coolant and oil radiator flap doors. To do so, left-click on the auto switch positions. Don't forget to close the switch covers after. Adjust the trim tabs to prepare for takeoff. Set rudder trim to 5 degrees right. Elevator trim can be left neutral. Aileron trim remains neutral.
Rudder trim to 5 degrees right. That was this one, I think. Somewhere? There it is.
On the throttle quadrant, ensure the propeller RPM lever marked P is set all the way forward to increase, and the fuel mixture lever marked M is set to idle cutoff. Set the throttle handle about 1 inch forward from the full back position to slightly open the throttle butterfly valve and allow air to flow to the engine.
Fuel mixture. Something I need to change.
If you don't have a throttle controller, the plus and minus keys on the keyboard numpad can be used to move the throttle handle. Moving to the engine control panel on the front dash, turn on the fuel booster pump by setting the fuel booster switch to the up position by clicking over the switch.
Yep.
Select the left and right magnetos to provide power to the engine ignition system by setting the ignition switch to low. On the fuel control panel, ensure that the left wing tank is selected for fuel consumption by checking that the fuel selector valve is set to the main tank.
Left main tank.
Open the fuel shutoff valve by clicking on the same. Let's set the parking brake to make sure we remain stationary when the engine begins to pull.
Hey, look, McGrady. It's the same switch panel that they used in the Humvee.
Yeah.
Including the brakes. Setting the parking brake takes a few steps. First, pull out and hold the parking brake handle by clicking and holding it. Next, while continuing to hold the parking brake handle, fully press the brake pedals by holding down the W key. Continuing to hold the parking brake handle, release the wheel brakes by releasing the W key. Now release the parking brake handle to set the parking brake.
Bob.
If done correctly, the parking brake handle should remain in the pulled out position. The parking brake is not set. Try again to set the parking brake. Remember, the procedure is as follows. Pull and hold the parking brake handle. Press and release the wheel brake's W key. Release the parking brake handle.
Oh, so you tap them. Okay.
We'll now move on to the electrical control panel on the right side of the cockpit. Set the battery switch to the up position to provide electrical power. Also, set the generator switch to the up position to prepare the generator to take over once the engine is running over 1500 to 1700 RPM. Click and hold the primer switch on the engine control panel for about 1 second to feed some fuel to the engine. When starting in cold temperatures, up to 4 seconds of prime may be necessary.
Right, done.
We are now ready to attempt an engine start. To do so, first press and hold the starter switch to operate the starter and begin turning the engine. As the engine begins to catch, move the fuel mixture control lever on the throttle quadrant to the run position by right-clicking on it once. If you aren't able to start the engine successfully, return the fuel mixer lever to idle cutoff by left-clicking and repeat.
Fuel select. No, that's not right. Fuel boosters, not right. Fuel selectors, not right. Mixture run. Oh, the mixture. Put it down here.
process starting with priming the engine. Note, the engine starter can be easily overheated. The starter should not be used for more than 4 20-second attempts to start, with 15-second intervals, followed by a 5-minute cooling off period.
Okay, that'll work.
He grew up and led God's children across the Red Sea. Ain't it something that the Lord can use an ordinary man? Ain't it something that the Lord can use you?
Good start.
She's
Now we need to
alive!
make sure the engine is running smoothly without any indications of a problem. Use the RPM gauge and adjust the throttle to run the engine at about 1200 to 1300 RPM. Monitor the engine gauge to check the oil pressure to reach at least 50 psi and the oil temperature to reach at least 40 degrees Celsius. Check the suction gauge to make sure it is showing a normal suction region of 3.75 to 4.25 inches. Press the spacebar to proceed. Check the hydraulic pressure gauge to make sure it is reading the normal pressure of 800 to 1100 psi. Check the oxygen pressure gauge to make sure it is reading a normal pressure of 400 psi. Press the space bar key to proceed.
That doesn't feel normal, having to run the engine up at those RPMs.
Continue to idle the
Yeah,
engine at 1000
first few times I flew the thing, I thought the same thing.
Perform a pre-flight check. Remember to release the parking brake before taxi. To do so, fully compress and release the wheel brake carefully. This concludes the engine start lesson. Well done.
Whoa! Apparently, releasing the brakes and then hitting them again equals prop strike immediately. Oh well, no one's surprised by that.
Hurry, call ground crew.
Guys, you put a faulty prop on it. I what? You put a faulty prop on it. Mm-hmm. mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I'm pleased as, in fact. Have a look here. DCS stockpilers. It's I wish there was a clear way to understand, like, what vehicles were in each server. I can't see any. It's on Normandy, so I don't have Normandy.
That's another thing we'll have to pick up is Normandy with the aircraft.
Yeah.
When's the next sale?
I know, right? There was sort of one recently, but not much of a sale.
There's not a lot of people playing, is there? Well, kind of late though.
It's true. I guess for all the complaining that I do about DCS module prices, it's actually not that much, really, for me anyway. It's like expensive, but yeah. Yeah, there's not many people playing. There's the Project Overlord one has 5 people on it. There is a
Yeah, it's supposed to list what aircraft are available when you click on the server.
yeah. You
It does
I
for
can see
me
it
at
there.
least.
Yeah. There's this Free World War II Eastern Front, Project Overlord. There's a couple people on P-51s already.
You could download the channel. It's a free map. And play on Grim Reaper server.
Where do you get the channel from?
Yeah, give me a second, I'll go to the link.
Trains. The channel map? No, the channel's listing is $50.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I thought it was a free one. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you need the World War II assets pack too.
Do you?
Yeah. If you on the bottom left, it'll say required packs,
Yeah.
and see how there's 2 red ones.
Required modules, World War II Asset Pack, and TF-51D.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, yeah, that's part of the stock.
If you scroll up, it'll say required, and it'll be some stuff that says
Normandy and Assets Pack. Okay.
yeah. And if you click on it, it brings you right to the store page.
It's very helpful like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is going to be a tomorrow goal. Is get up and running on DCS drops. I feel like it's a very doable job.
I know we're gonna need the asset pack because I watched if you're playing with Wingling,
Yeah.
because they're constantly attacking ground vehicles.
Okay.
And it's half tracks and stugs and stuff. So
Sweet.
I wouldn't be too terribly surprised if he's actually playing in the Grim Reapers one.
That's the Grim Reapers one. Yep.
That probably the most popular group for DCS, just because it has that growling sidewinder guy
Okay.
that does all the videos.
Yeah. So he would have been on the Grim Reapers Open World War II server.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the question becomes like, the same problem that DCS has always had, where some of it is on Normandy, some of it's on the channel, and they're both separate purchases.
Yeah.
It's what it is, right? There's like no easy listing here, right? Okay, so I can test fly the full Mustang, but and for some reason you can test fly the asset pack. Sure, that seems reasonable, I guess. But does it really? I don't know if that feels reasonable or not. So confusing, their website. And then you end up with like a lot of confusion as to what is and is not part of all of the different things, and very confusing.
I'm playing with a new aircraft I got.
Oh, what'd you get?
The community one. I sent you some pictures.
Okay. Is that a 1-1?
117.
Yeah. The challenging cockpit?
Yeah. A lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
I thought it was available on that T4Y or whatever training server.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, why does it show that as a aircraft? Then I found that mod and I was like, oh cool, I can fly it around.
Sweet, I guess.
I'm looking at Enigma's server and it's just... Nah.
What's not?
They
sorry?
got 3 fixed-wing aircraft in the sky
Yeah.
versus like 10 fixed-wing aircraft.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm looking at the listing now. I've got A4E, a Vigan, and an F5 up against, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 other things.
Yeah.
But the hip gang's out and about. My 24's out there doing zoomies.
Yeah. Look at that. Wait, when did they get AH-64s? Did they have those for Cold War?
Not until very recently, I don't think.
Huh. That might be my new toy to play with.
Oh,
That was my biggest complaint about Cold War is with the helicopters. Like, I don't get an attack helicopter.
nope. Well, I mean, you'll get it with the Chinook if they give us the Chinook what was it? ACH-47 Marine one.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Marines saw a Chinook and they're like, hey, you know what's a great idea?
All the guns.
Putting guns on it and rocket launchers. I mean, they weren't wrong, technically. Hey, cool, that crashed again. It was running fine a moment ago. Very confused.
So it's a full crash. Crash
Oh,
to
System complete,
reboot.
like restart. Couldn't tell you why.
Well, you kind of got a general idea of the time. You might be able to catch it in the event mode.
Yeah.
It should be one of the last 5 things.
I'll have a look. While you check your email.
What?
Yep.
Fair, no.
Barry, yes. This is all just a precursor before I send you the rat. Have fun in Russian.
Yeah. I remember last time you sent something, it got lost.
Odd. Windows logs. System.
Oh, did you ever get that Star Citizen thing?
No. Hang on, what thing? You sent me the stupid
Refreshment.
plane. No, I never got the Mr. Refinement's refreshment thing.
Probably because I put the wrong. It's Ferrosalt that.
Farah at
You know.
Parasol.
Oh, Farah at Ferrosalt. I did the wrong email.
I can find the email and forward it to myself. That I think that one goes into one of my void accounts. Yep. They both went through.
Oh. I was looking at your error log. Game input service?
It's the Toby eye tracker.
Oh.
Their the game hub throws errors just like it's going out of fashion. Okay, that's all boot. Boot stuff. Critical. System reboot.
Yeah, it's just knowing it coming back online.
This is all standard stuff. There's nothing there. What I might do is run logging on hardware monitor and see if it's a voltage or something.
Oh, DCS World was marked as spam. That's weird.
Of course. How it
Spam.
goes around here, I guess.
Oh my god.
What? What?
A lot.
What's a lot?
Normandy?
Yeah, it'll happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm getting revenge. I'm getting partial revenge for that F7C2. Partial revenge. We're not even considering the $150 tip you did the other week. Jerk.
No, that's for your video card.
And it went away very quickly.
No, it was just I had some good fortune, so that's all it was.
Yeah. I appreciate it, and now Yous has more ways to suffer with me and Wingling.
Yeah, Wingling, Crab, and the rest.
Yep. I don't know how big these downloads are, so we'll find out in a second
Oh,
whether
yeah,
or
I
not I'm
should
going
probably
to
do
bother
that.
staying.
Oh no, I gotta go to bed real soon.
That's a good plan. It's somehow 50. No, it's unpacking. It's 32 gigs. Okay, chat. That's the stream done. there ain't no way I'm hanging around for 32 gigs of downloads. And that's just the map. Yeah. So I'll be back on tomorrow. I should start much earlier than today. Today I spent a good 3 hours trying to get my streaming to YouTube to work, and it does, and I'm very happy with that. Even though I still have some very odd issues. Yeah. Very odd issues.
I had
But-
to buy a hard drive for DCS.
I don't know how these
Alright.
files are so hecking huge. I don't understand it. Either way, that's me done. Thanks, chat. See ya.